Today's episode of Inside Games is brought to you by HelloFresh. Use our code in the description or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POG inside16 for up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes and free shipping.
Welcome to Inside Games, the only gaming news show brave enough to question the difficulty level of a Soulsborne game.
Yeah, it's weird. There's been literally no discussion about how difficult these games are. Oh well, other gaming outlets that are less brave. You snooze, you lose.
But we are being sarcastic, tarnished, as we always are. Mostly it's just rare that a game renowned for its difficulty gets to Elden Ring's level of success and sales. So on today's episode, we're going to take a look at Elden Ring's use of difficulty and then compare it to other games and their performance to see if Elden Ring is too hard.
For that, we turn to the 2021 California State Spicy Gamer Takeoff Champion, Charlotte Avery. Take us to Spicy Town, please.
Oh, they don't call me the Guy Fieri of gaming for nothing. In fact, they don't call me that for anything. Kotaku's Jeremy Winslow pointed out that an easy mode mod is one of Elden Ring's most popular at the moment, which is a little unusual given that early mods for games often focus on UI changes, graphic improvements, and of course, putting huge boobs on everything. Right now, easy mode, and that's the name of the mod, is the 4th most downloaded mod on Nexus Mods, while more straightforward cheat tables are the 1st and 3rd most downloaded mod.
Wait, what's the second? Hold on, what's the second?
The second one is just a toggle tool that turns off anti-cheats so you can install other mods, basically.
Oh, there we go. I thought it was going to be tits, and I would be excited.
Tits is pretty far down for Elden Ring, weirdly.
I mean, it has them. It's one of Newton's laws of thermodynamics, I'm sure. However, they're not dominating the charts like they normally do.
That's because Elden Ring players are too busy getting laid all the time in real life, right, Charlotte? Right, Lawrence?
Yeah, up top. I'm not maidenless. Just to drive the point home, there's even a mod to make the game harder, but it's been downloaded almost 900 times, whereas the easy mode mod has been downloaded 28.5 thousand times. And that brings me to the spiciest question of all. Get your donkey sauce ready. Does the popularity of easy mode mods and cheats for Elden Ring mean the game is too hard?
Waves of donkey sauce. Watch out, viewer. We should have told you to wear eye protection. You're in the splash zone. You're getting flecked with the donkey sauce right now.
All right, jokes aside, we need a little philosophical disclaimer here. These are subjective questions. There is no right answer. Asking what a game should be relies entirely on the intent of the game creator and the audience, of course, you, that they're trying to reach.
Yeah, also if we apply the sentiment to popular mods from other games, the takeaway is pretty simple. It would basically mean that every game needs to have amazing graphics, no challenge at all, and everyone should be naked all the time and just have the juiciest asses you've ever seen.
Lawrence, you're describing pornography?
So we're basically deducing here with logic and facts that Elden Ring should just be porn and it would be more popular. Are we saying that? I think we're saying that now.
All right, let's try to make this an objective question. Should Elden Ring have been easier to make it sell more, or do easier games sell better?
It is a fascinating question, isn't it? And it's often assumed to be true, but is it really? We'll get into that right after a message from our sponsor, HelloFresh. Today's episode of Inside Games is brought to you by HelloFresh, which offers so many different kinds of recipes to choose from each week, you'll never end up in a recipe rut. It's also a great way to experiment with new kinds of foods or new kinds of cooking techniques. I'm in the middle of a fitness kick myself. I'm drilling down on my calorie counts, trying to shed that quarantine weight. Luckily, HelloFresh offers veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals to make it really easy to hit those goals. Fit and wholesome recipes make it so easy to eat well without sacrificing flavor. And speaking of feeling good, how's this for thinking outside the box? Nearly all HelloFresh packaging is recyclable. On top of that, because of their pre-portioned ingredients, HelloFresh cuts down on your food waste by at least 25% compared to grocery shopping, and that is according to a HelloFresh global food waste study. You can maintain your goals and still feel good about your food choices with HelloFresh. So please use our link in the description or go to HelloFresh.com and use our code POG inside16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes and free shipping on top of all of that. Thank you very much for the sponsorship, HelloFresh.
Hey, thanks HelloFresh for getting us all nourished and ready to talk about game sales.
So to get some sense of how game difficulty relates to game sales, we're going to look at the top 3 best-selling games each year for the last 10 years, as provided by the NPD Group. Now, since it's coming from the NPD Group, there are a few caveats to this data. This is the US region only, it's physical and digital combined, ranked by dollar sales, but it excludes DLC and microtransactions.
Holy Call of Duty! 80% guns and football. That's what America is, baby.
It actually is American as hell. I kind of wasn't expecting that before I put it together. We have to admit, there's not a lot of easy games on that list, you know? Now, something like Call of Duty can be simple, you know, it's run and shoot, reload, but it can be played at very high skill levels. It's esports worthy, basically. Even Animal Crossing, which you could say is the simplest game on that list, can be very complicated and grindy depending on how you play it.
Yeah, and that seems to be the unifying aspect of all of these best-selling games. They potentially offer a deep or challenging experience, but that doesn't get in the way of accessible entertainment. Basically, you can either try to be a Call of Duty esports pro, or get zooted and run around in circles in the multiplayer trying to do the ooh, wah, disturbed sound into your headset.
Soulsborne games have always provided that deep experience, and with features like fast travel from anywhere and those Shrine of Marika checkpoints, seems like Elden Ring has finally turned accessible enough to break into mass market sales, obviously. Perhaps the popularity of an easy mode mod does mean that Elden Ring would gain even more mass popularity if it were more accessible.
Yeah, Bruce, when I was thinking about this topic, I was reminded of some of the things you said about music, and pop music especially, how you can't just follow a formula and make a song blow up into mass popularity. It has to be well made to begin with, but it can't also just be pure cotton candy either. I don't know, you followed it for a while. Do you think these two situations are kind of similar?
There's a really interesting thing. A lot of people think that pop music is easy, and truthfully, it really does follow a formula. They're kind of the same chords, the same chorus, verse, bridge, etc. format. However, you have to be a really talented musician generally to put those chords together, write a really nice hook with a melody, in addition to what you've got in terms of the instrumental. And that's not easy. Charlotte has been writing music for the last few years. Charlotte, how easy is it to write a pop hit? Have you already done that?
Still working on topping the charts, but I do make like bedroom pop, and like there is a formula, but like it's challenging, and like I used to be very like, I don't listen to pop music, and that's silly. You're missing so much interesting and cool art, and it's yeah. I mean, like, oftentimes it's hard to replicate that formula, but not repeat what's already been done. Just a minefield of challenges involved. Stream Mom's Home on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, I think others. Getting a plug in there.
Put that up on the screen. Put that up on the screen for Charlotte. Mom's Home. Also, we got to reiterate, if we designed games by their most popular mods, then Elden Ring would be more popular if we could just stare headlong into Millennia's vagina, which, by the way, I've done a bunch of times because I had to try and beat her. So maybe the customer isn't always right here.
Yeah, but what if it were just photogenically, anatomically correct every time she was flipping around you, Bruce? Wouldn't that enhance your Elden Ring experience? Amusingly enough, speaking of Millennia's parts, Elden Ring actually had a real-life horny jail there for a second. What's that all about, Charlotte?
Oh yeah, people are getting bonked in real time, and it's a weird one. It has to do with the forbidden underwear.
Yeah, this is a really horny episode we're putting together.
And what can I say? Spring has sprung and the gamers are flowering.
Yuck!
Before I get into it, never fear, as of today, April 21st, the cursed undies have been patched out of the game. But for a while, curious Elden Ring players were getting soft banned by picking up a pair of lacy lingerie discarded by other players. The armor is called the Deathbed Smalls, and they're actually worn by the Deathbed companion, Fia, you know, the lady that gives you warm hugs. That's the good news. By the way, use that consumable if you haven't.
Wait, what's the bad news, Charlotte?
Oh, the bad news, Bruce, is actually that these bloomers were hacked illegal items. By picking them up, players would be soft banned and only allowed to use multiplayer features with other soft banned players. Basically, pick up the undies, go to horny jail with all the other pervs. So it's kind of like a holding cell. Everyone's in it.
Yeah, some people have lost save files with 200 plus hours on it, with other people in the comments saying that the soft ban should expire a few days after the offending item is removed. At least that's what they're hearing from customer service.
All right, and just to really cap off this slow news day of an episode, obviously, we'd like to introduce you to someone special in the Elden Ring community.
That's right, someone who really embodies all the gaming values that we uphold here at Inside Games.
This is my personal hero. Let me solo her, an Elden Ring player with 2 katanas, a pot on his head, and they dedicate themselves to providing a helping hand to anyone struggling with the game's hardest boss, Millennia, which, by the way, I tried for 5-6 hours or so, finally beat her. If I had summoned Let Me Solo Her, he would have done it in one. He would have done it in one.
Yeah, IGN's Rebecca Valentine interviewed this hometown hero who, quote, would like to thank the Elden Ring community for all the support and hype around my character and lets us know that, quote, my summon sign will always be down for fellow Tarnished in need.
To LMSH, this week's Inside Games Inside Gamer, we give you our heartiest one-arm wave and hey! Or maybe I'll just say, thank you!
Hey, to our patrons that have already summoned Let Me Solo Her, Jonathan Lanowski, Andrew Countryman, Mark Fletcher, Xander, and Dan Halloran, thank you very much. And thank you for giving Let Me Solo Her a chance to beat Millennia.
That's right. I know every time I run into a boss and die, you're there, nodding quietly from the shadows. Jacob, Eric Daniels, Weave It, Mario, Miranda, and Izzy, thank you for your silent support.